You're watching UnrealEntGaming. This is Beerus, the god of destruction. Make sure you subscribe to UnrealEntGaming and push the like button for me, or else I'll Hakai you from existence.
Oh, and do make sure to watch the entire video all the way through. And to follow UnrealEntGaming on both Instagram and Twitter.
Whiz, enough. On to the video.
With Dragon Ball Super Manga Chapter number 73 now officially in the history books, the story of the last Cerealian survivor continues as Granolah goes to war against Super Saiyan Blue Goku, as neither of the two look to fall to the other, with Vegeta also investigating planet Sorel and discovering the truth behind who this mysterious individual truly is, and what exactly happened on this planet that involves his people, and with Granolah leaving nothing behind as he looks to end Goku's life. The million-dollar question going forward is, what exactly is Granolah truly hiding from the Saiyans that he has yet to reveal, and what will be the outcome of this battle as Alec and the Heaters are closely observing from a safe distance and waiting for the perfect moment to make their move. As once more, before we begin, if you are new to this channel and have a love and passion for all things Dragon Ball and anime related, then make sure to go on ahead and smash that subscribe button and turn on all notifications by clicking on the bell icon to never miss a single upload on this channel, as well as giving this video a big thumbs up by smashing that like button down below if you guys are loving the direction of the Dragon Ball Super manga and cannot wait to see this be animated within the actual anime itself. And if of course you guys want to catch up and check out all the best from the Dragon Ball Super manga, then you guys can go on ahead and check out the official Dragon Ball Super manga playlist located down in the description box below, to where there you guys will be able to find all the latest and best from the actual Dragon Ball Super manga. So if you want to catch up and find out more information on what's been going on, then be sure to go on ahead and check out that playlist located down below. As we kick off Dragon Ball Super Manga Chapter number 73 entitled Son Goku vs. Granolah, with Granolah shown intensely locking onto Goku and firing multiple different ki blasts at him, it's fairly evident to suggest that neither Goku or Granolah seem to be going all out by using their full power in this battle, and we can only judge this based on their expressions and their demeanor in this fight, because Granolah appears to be eerily calm in firing these blasts at Goku, whereas Goku also appears to be eerily calm in having to avoid and dodge each and every single one of these attacks, in which Goku is doing, and he's doing this with such finesse in the fact that he went on to adapt the principles of Ultra Instinct in merging that with Super Saiyan Blue, not in a sense of gaining strength through power, but in a sense of having to dodge all of Granolah's attacks, in which, as we get to see how Goku is moving ever so closer, it was at that moment where Goku went on to attempt to kick Granolah, but Granolah had then proven to be fast enough in having to even dodge Goku at that point, because from there, Granolah went on to take initiative in having to jump over Goku, and as he did, that's when Granolah took flight, and Goku was in hot pursuit behind him, because he wasn't going to allow for Granolah to get away, not as though Granolah wanted to, but Granolah knew exactly what he was doing, because he baited Goku into following him, and what Granolah did was he went on to directly lead Goku into the forest, in which from there, Granolah took it upon himself in using his surrounding environment to his advantage, in having Goku follow him through this hot pursuit and having to dodge and avoid all of these trees placed in front of them, in which as we get to see how Goku is then shown throwing these energy blasts at Granolah, Granolah is using these same exact trees as a means of shielding himself from Goku's attacks, which at the end of the day, despite your bias towards Dragon Ball, this really doesn't make any sense, only because outside of the importance of Granolah using his environment to get the better of Goku, these trees that we see on Granolah's planet Sorel, really shouldn't matter in this battle, because we're talking about two universal characters, one by having to train to reach that point while the other had made a wish in becoming the strongest, now using trees to avoid energy blasts. I think that it's a little redundant, but it is cool to see how Granolah is sideswiping Goku and using his environment to his advantage in trying to throw Goku off his game, which to Goku's credit, at first it doesn't seem to be working, because Goku is on this unrelenting pursuit in catching Granolah. He's firing multiple energy blasts directly at Granolah, but Granolah is fast enough in getting out of the way, and with Goku momentarily being caught off his guard and not realizing that Granolah had used one of the trees to his advantage, Granolah winds up pulling a Maris on Goku just like Maris had done against Moro, and Granolah had then went on to use his scarf as a means of wrapping it around one of the trees and having to swing right back around, and just as he did, he ended up kicking Goku so hard in the face that Goku's body was sent flying through the landscape and having to crash through each and every single one of these trees, but Goku was lucky enough in grabbing onto one of these tree trunks, and as he went on to swing back around, Goku had ended up landing back down on the ground safely by having to break his fall, and now realizing that indeed Granolah may not be as easy of a challenge as Goku had originally assumed he would actually be. But then again, neither is Goku, because from there Granolah went on to charge on in, and as he did, Granolah did not waste any time in attacking Goku, but Goku was fast enough in having to defend himself by blocking off Granolah's strike, and you can tell based on their overall expressions and just judging based on their body language that this is not easy for either of them, because Granolah is struggling in trying to really get the better of Goku by putting him down, and Goku is trying to do everything within his ability to control the fight and make sure that Granolah does not get any leverage on him. So the fight from there continues to intensify, with Goku then being shown having to transition into kicking Granolah, with Granolah having to block off his strike, and as he did, Granolah seems to be having a difficult time engaging himself with Goku, because if you go on to judge this fight based on the merits being shown at the beginning, it would only appear as though both of them are seemingly enough equal. So as Goku from there goes on the attack, eventually enough Goku manages to land a really solid punch to Granolah's face, which was devastating in its own right because it caused Granolah to go flying back into the woods, and as he did, his body was sent crashing through multiple trees until he went on to maintain his balance, and as he did, he then retaliated by quickly having to dash back at Goku and kicking Goku square in the face. So it's kind of like a back and forth battle with each individual having to go tit for tat with the other, but as soon as Granolah went on to kick Goku, with Goku being shown having to crash through the woods, what I really enjoyed was seeing the level of brutality that was taking place within the environment, only because we don't see much of that in Dragon Ball these days. So although these are simple trees, I love the overall aesthetic and the feel of this fight because it does feel relatively different by comparison to Goku versus Jiren, Goku versus Moro, Goku versus Broly, and etc. And as soon as Goku then is shown powering up ever so, Granolah is shown coming back at Goku and wanting to attack him, but Goku went on to then quickly power up with such fury that it even caused Granolah to be surprised by this, because the sheer impact and the force of Goku's energy and aura erupted in such a way that it not only looked very impressive in the fact that his energy and his aura is shown being extended up in the sky, but it also went on to blow Granolah away, as of course Granolah was making his way towards Goku, and as we then get to see how Granolah and Goku are then stabilized for a moment in the fact that Goku now had caught his wind and he was ready for more, as well as Granolah, it was only then realized by both individuals that this fight was not going to be easy for either of them, as Granolah then went on to comment, "Your blood flow and the movements of your cells have changed. You must have activated that evasion technique. Is it the same when you had red hair? Because I already know the ins and outs of that," with Goku responding, "Blue plus Ultra Instinct won't be so easy to counter." In which seconds later, Goku then went on to make his move, and Granolah was quick to spot him, because as soon as Goku tried to get behind Granolah, what Granolah did was he aimed his hand directly at Goku, and he tried to snipe Goku down from the sky, but with Goku having to be more cognitively aware and more hyper-focused now than how he was before, what he ended up doing was he ended up avoiding Granolah's sniper shot and once again having to get behind him, but despite Goku having to then increase his speed, Granolah was still not letting up in this fight, because he ended up shooting Goku over and over and over, and he was not letting up until he knew for an absolute fact that Goku was going to go down, but instead, Goku ended up ducking, dodging, bobbing, and weaving out of all of these sniper shots, and then he managed to get above Granolah, in which really caught Granolah off guard, but even then, with Granolah being the tactician that he is, he kept on proceeding by having to shoot Goku up in the sky in a very interesting fashion, but even then Goku managed to escape this, in really giving Granolah some trouble, because once again you can tell based on Granolah's expression and his demeanor that he was having a really hard time in actually landing these shots on Goku, because at this point Goku had become so fast, he was using his Cerulean Eye the best he could, he still wasn't able to hit Goku. So instead, Goku kept vanishing and circling around Granolah until he further went on to disorient Granolah in really throwing Granolah off his game, because as soon as Goku tried to get as close as he could to Granolah's face, both Goku and Granolah knew that this was going to be it. So what they ended up doing was Goku went on to charge up for the Kamehameha, and Granolah prepped himself in having to wind his hand back because he was actually looking into striking Goku's vital points and having to put him down just like he did before. So it was a matter of who was going to do what first. Is Granolah going to strike Goku's vital point, or is Goku going to blast Granolah with a point-blank Kamehameha? So towards the end of this confrontation, Goku in fact does end up getting close enough in firing this Kamehameha directly at Granolah, but if you pay close enough attention to Granolah's fingers, he was also able to directly strike Goku's vital points just as Goku went on to fire the Kamehameha, which literally from there went on to destroy absolutely everything around them. So this includes the forest, this includes the landscape, nothing survived. And what's interesting about this is, as of course you guys can see here on your screen, this is very reminiscent to when Goku did the exact same thing against Moro 7-3, when he had gone on to fire the Kamehameha directly at him, but the only difference here was Moro was restrained whereas Granolah was not. So we then managed to pan on over to Oil, who was completely blown away by this attack because this attack was so powerful and so strong that it created shockwaves all throughout the landscape to where even Vegeta went on to feel this, but Vegeta is minding his own business because if you look at Vegeta's surroundings, he appears to continue his investigation of his surroundings around him because Vegeta knows that there's something going on here that he needs to put his finger on, but instead of fighting Granolah directly or even caring as much to watch this fight, he's doing some snooping around, he's digging around just to kind of find out what the heck is really going on. As of course the blast dissipates and the smoke begins to settle, we get to see how by the end of it both Granolah and Goku's body are lying down within this massive crater, and as they are, Granolah is the first one being shown having to slowly sit up and trying to check in to find out what happened to Goku, whereas on the other side of Granolah we get to see how Goku is lying face down on the ground. We see how he's hurt, we see how blood is coming out of his mouth because Granolah's Vital Strike actually went on to work because it knocked Goku out of Super Saiyan Blue and nearly even rendered Goku immobile, with Goku having to be shown grabbing onto the back of his neck, with Granolah having to comment, "Stronger attacks, faster evasion, they won't help you. My right eye always locks onto your vital point," as Goku went on to stand back up by responding, "Damn it, you got me again with that. No matter what transformations you use, no one has zero openings. Just give up," Granolah says. "No," Goku responds, "Ultra Instinct should have no weaknesses. If anything's lacking, it's gotta be my training." "Training?" Granolah asks. "I'm not used to totally using Ultra Instinct as a Super Saiyan," Goku responds, "so I'm still vulnerable." "Don't waste your breath on excuses," Granolah says. "You people are dying here, so you'll never get to master that instinct thing. The Saiyan line ends here by my hand, just as you ended my people." And with Goku shown having to put this into question, we then get to see how Granolah had positioned himself in a very familiar stance, in which we get to see how Granolah's body is now beginning to respond a bit differently than how we've seen be done before, because this stance that Granolah had now positioned himself in is very reminiscent to the previous enemy we've seen Goku fight before, in which, as we get to see how Granolah had then went on to raise his hands up in the air, the ground beneath Goku is slowly but surely now beginning to rise up, and we've seen this be done before by none other than Moro, and it looks as though Granolah now is mimicking and using the exact same move, the exact same technique that we've literally seen Moro use on planet Namek and on planet Earth, as of course you guys can see here, which ultimately goes on to further substantiate the idea that the dragon that granted his wish had not only made him to be the strongest in the universe, but at the same time, it also seemingly enough had given him the abilities and the attacks and the power of someone who is now deceased. Being the fact that Moro is dead and gone, Granolah, out of all people, is ironically enough able to mimic and use his exact abilities against Goku right now. And Goku himself can't even believe it, because from there, we then see how the energy of planet Sorel then went on to burst on up, and with Goku trying his best and having to push it back, he was struggling because Goku Goku was not expecting for this to happen, but Goku's not dumb because he's experienced this before and he has some type of knowledge as to what to do in this particular situation, but the sheer force of this thing is literally causing Goku to fly on up towards the atmosphere, and this is really bad because it's almost like a nuclear shockwave in a sense to where Granolah had unleashed so much power that even the current residents of the Dome cities are screaming in panic because their entire city is shaking, the entire planet seemingly enough is just going up in flames only because Granolah is using everything to his disposal to make sure that Son Goku doesn't walk away from this fight alive. And Goku is shown struggling, he's trying to figure out what to do until he winds up using instant transmission to get out of the way. And he was lucky to do this because he managed to escape just in the nick of time, and Granolah is eerily enough calm. He's trying to figure out what happened to Goku, where he ended up going, because of course this attack ultimately failed, and we get to see how Goku ended up using instant transmission in getting to where Vegeta was, and as he did, Goku went on to drop down to a knee as Vegeta went on to comment, "Struggling much? Ouch," Goku says, "that move looked like Moro's. This guy's strength and moves are off the charts. I might actually have to go all out. Wait, where are we? Why are you out here?" "I know who he must be," Vegeta says. "You do? I've heard old tales of a tribe in this area with right eyes specialized for sniping." "A tribe of snipers, huh?" Goku says. "Yes, and it was Saiyans under Frieza's command who wiped them out. We likely stand amidst the ruins left by that very invasion." "So, this Granolah guy he's most likely a survivor of that tribe," Vegeta says. "That explains why he holds a grudge against us," Goku says, "and why we're not seeing eye to eye." As Vegeta responds, "It seems Maki and Oil have played us for fools," as we only then get to see how there's a camera right behind Vegeta, and through this camera, the HEETERS are in fact spying on both Goku, Vegeta, and Granolah, as Oil goes on to radio back in by responding, "So the jig's up, except there's no turning back now." "What now, Vegeta?" Goku asks. "Do we try to convince him that the Saiyans aren't bad guys nowadays?" As Vegeta responds, "I doubt it would matter. He's hoping to drive the Saiyans to extinction by killing us. So I gotta beat him first," Goku says. "Then we convince him," as Vegeta shouts, "You still plan to fight? Do you have any hope of victory?" "Yep," Goku says. "I still haven't whipped out Ultra Instinct at full power." Gotta resort to that at the end, huh? And as we then go back to Granolah, who is shown overseeing this massive hole within the planet in which he had created, which again, mind you, is very similar to the exact crater that we've seen towards the end of the Moro arc, and with Granolah shown having to wait and kind of detect something unusual through the smoke, there is a silhouette of an individual standing on the other side, and this individual happens to be none other than Mastered Ultra Instinct Goku. So Goku emerges, he's wielding the silver-haired UI form, which again, Goku looks phenomenal. His entrance is phenomenal, having to just hover through the smoke, and I do want to go on ahead and give Toyotaro credit in making Goku look vicious here. Although it only took Goku nearly dying twice in order for him to reach this point, Granolah is absolutely shocked because Granolah can't seem to understand what this is, because even his little scouter can't seem to detect Goku's vitals, he can't seem to read or even analyze Goku's blood, as Granolah then went on to comment, "I can't perceive any vital points. What is that form?" As Goku responds, "It's perfected Ultra Instinct. The downside is I can't maintain this for too long, so I'm gonna have to end this quick." And after having to overhear this, Granolah doesn't appear to be as confident as he was before, and as we then get to see how Goku had then went on to slowly rise up from the ground, before Granolah even registered as to what Goku was about to do, what Goku ends up doing is he moves in with such speed, and he follows up by kicking Granolah square in the face to where it ends up knocking his goggle off of his eye, which even then, based on his own expression, Granolah can't believe it. He seems to be taken back by this because this is a much different version of Goku than Granolah had just battled a few seconds ago, and with Goku then following up by kicking Granolah so casually up in the sky, Granolah's body is just hovering up before Goku had then proceeded to capitalize on this opportunity in giving Granolah an elbow strike right in the back of his neck, and Granolah hits the ground really hard. He's hurt, he's injured, and Goku so casually goes on ahead to then descend on down, improving that once again Mastered Ultra Instinct is a much different level by comparison to Super Saiyan Blue, Super Saiyan God, because prior, Granolah was somehow able to keep up, he was able to best Goku, but now Goku had gone on to turn the tables on Granolah, and with Goku having to make his way back down and having to oversee Granolah, he then went on to comment, "Do you mind just hearing me out? Maybe we don't have to keep fighting." "Shut up," Granolah says. "Nothing you say can change the fact that I'm taking my revenge on the Saiyans, so stop wasting my time." To where once again Granolah is not letting up. He is not looking to lose to Goku in any kind of way, so he attempted to go on ahead and strike Goku's vital points once more, but with Goku now having to use the peak of his power, he casually went on to move out of the way and grabbing onto Granolah's hand, in which Granolah can't even seem to believe this, because from there, Goku went on to put his forearm directly under Granolah's arm as he carried on by having to throw Granolah up in the sky and having to spin him, and with Granolah having to maintain his balance, he was angry, he was embarrassed, and he really didn't know what the heck was going on, because this was something that Granolah wasn't expecting for Goku to have or even use, so Granolah once again casually tried to attack Goku, but with Goku continuing to maintain this calm demeanor, Granolah went on to miss his strike, so clearly now, Goku is the one shown having to hold the upper hand, he is the one clearly shown having to be in control, and interestingly enough, with Granolah having to miss his punch and crashing on down to the ground, he bounced back up, and from there, he tried to attack Goku by having to kick him from behind, but once more, Goku is dodging everything. There is not a single thing that Granolah can do right now that could even remotely hold a candle to what Goku is now, and clearly enough, we get to see how this is evidence based on his demeanor, how this is evidence based on his body language, so he's getting a little desperate because from there, he tried to do everything in his ability to make sure that he was able to strike Goku's vital points again, except this time going for the finishing blow, but Goku went on to slowly raise his hand up in the air, in which he went on to completely stop Granolah in his tracks, literally very similar to what Goku had done to Broly, to what Goku had done to Moro by using the Godbind, because as soon as Goku went on to just casually stop him, Granolah had no idea as to what the heck was going on, more or less as to what the heck even Goku was doing, because from there, as he was being held in place without Goku even having to look at him, he then went on to tell Granolah, "You're making us settle this for real, huh?" As Granolah went on to shout, "Hey! Let me down!" As even then, Goku is shown having to levitate Granolah's body upwards, and Granolah is panicking. He has no idea as to what Goku is about to do, or even what Goku is doing to begin with, right? So, what Goku follows up by doing is he flicks his hand forward, and Granolah goes flying, but before he could actually crash through the landscape, Goku went on to clench his fist, and Granolah is in a very dire state because you can tell based on his expression that he is in trouble. So Goku ends up unleashing these invisible-like strikes with his punch, in which aren't really classified as ki blasts per se, but more or less something similar to what we've seen go down with Goku versus Jiren and even Goku versus Moro. So with Goku then shown unleashing all of these invisible strikes in which are connecting all over Granolah's body, it was towards the latter half of this fight in which Goku had held the upper hand in not only being shown just throwing strike after strike and having to connect all over Granolah's body, but Granolah seems to be hurt. He's flying out towards the landscape, and eventually Goku ends up continuing this until Granolah goes crashing directly into one of the mountains in the landscape. So Vegeta towards the end of this engagement was shown having to observe this, and it appears as though his investigation of his surrounding environment had ended because Vegeta is now paying very close attention to this fight, but there seems to be something that Vegeta had went on to notice, as Vegeta from there went on to comment, "Over already, seems as though Kakarot went and stole the entire show again." And as soon as we then get to see a bloody and battle-damaged Granolah having to lie on the ground, Vegeta then went on to put this into question by responding, "Granolah's power, it hasn't dropped as much as it should have. What's going on?" Until Vegeta went on to sense something out in the distance as he went on to then respond, "What the? Now it's coming from over there?" And with Goku then shown getting in front of Granolah, Granolah then went on to respond, "Saiyans have grown pretty powerful. I didn't foresee this." As Goku responds, "You're also way stronger than I thought. I'm curious how you trained to get this far. For the purposes of this plan, it seems like I've underestimated the Saiyans," Granolah says. "We could all walk away now, you know," Goku says. "You don't seem like such a bad guy. Why not train so we can spar again another time?" Very similar to what Goku had told Moro, as Granolah went on to respond, "You're not hearing me right, Saiyan. When did I say I've lost?" And with Goku seemingly confused, Granolah then went on to continue, "All I said was I made a mistake underestimating you. I shouldn't have split my power at the start." "Split?" Goku says. "What's that mean? The Granolah you see here is me, but also not." And with Vegeta desperately shown having to look around, it was at that moment where Vegeta went on to spot Granolah's ship, and as he did, he then went on to shout, "There! Hold on! "What are you saying?" Goku says. "I took some power from my true body and made a clone. An illusion." And with Granola's body then shown vanishing, Goku does not know what the heck is going on until Vegeta went on to shout, "Kakarot! His real body is over here!" As of course it was, because as we then pan on over inside of Granola's ship, the original then proceeded to stand back up, and Goku doesn't seem to get it because he then went on to respond, I don't get it. And as quickly as Vegeta then went on to turn his head, in looking down within the ship, he then noticed that Granolah was gone, and before he could even do anything, he was shocked because Vegeta was not expecting for the original Granolah to be this quick. And as we then make our way back to Goku, we only then get to see the turning point of this battle, because Granolah had went on to put his hand directly in front of Goku's heart, and as he did with Goku shown dropping his guard, he had reverted back down to his base form. It was at that moment, before Goku can even react, before Goku could even respond with any sort of attack of his own, Granolah connected what seemingly looked as though a 1-inch punch, very similar to what Goku had done to Frieza in ROF, which subsequently enough can be argued in the fact that Granolah had gone on to knock Goku out of Mastered Ultra Instinct, because from there, Granolah had then proceeded to connect a thunderous shot to Goku's chest right where his heart is, which you can see the pain in Goku's eyes because his pupils are now fading away. There is a hole on his chest right where his heart is, and Goku is knocked back with such force that this was it. Not only did Granolah connect a ferocious shot to Goku's chest, but this strike was so heavy and this strike was so powerful that it literally went on to blow the entire landscape away. So just by connecting this one singular shot, Goku is now officially done. He's not dead, he's knocked out, he's finished. Granolah had now gone on to once again defeat Goku, except this time, instead of this being a clone, it's the original. It's Prime Granolah now having to reveal himself, and this goes to show the full extent of what he can do, because even if he was able to knock Goku out of MUI, this is bad. This is extremely bad, because as we then pan back to Goku, he's on the ground, he's not moving, his pupils are gone, and Granolah is slowly shown having to approach Goku's carcass, and as he is, with each step that Granolah is taking, you can feel the level of intensity, because Granolah had then gone on to vow in finishing this fight for good, as he then went on to comment, "I decided to have you fight that clone in order to save my strength for Frieza. In any case, it managed to kill some time, which worked for me, since your accuracy drops over time in that silver-haired form. I knew I could find an opening eventually." But right before Granolah could proceed to get to Goku's body, Vegeta ends up stepping forward, as Vegeta went on to then tell him, "You pinpointed Kakarot's vitals from a distance and sent him flying. Color me impressed," as Granolah responds, "Move aside, I'm finishing him off." "That fool," Vegeta says, "he won't be up for a while, leave him be. I'm your opponent now." "I'm not picky about which one of you two dies first," Granolah says. As Vegeta went on to spit on the ground, he then went on to respond, "Die? Why don't you, go on, join the rest of your tribe." "What did you say?" Granolah says. "If you're so intent on killing off every last Saiyan, then I'll use all I have to put you in the ground. The tribe that's about to go extinct is Cerealians," with of course Vegeta smiling, as of course his earring also shines. It was only at that moment where Dragon Ball Super Manga Chapter number 73 then came to a close. Now, this is it. The stage is now set for Vegeta versus Granolah in Dragon Ball Super Manga Chapter number 74, which is going to be released next month on July 20th, but in the comment section below, what I want to know from you guys are 3 specific things, that being number 1, on a scale of 1 to 5, with 1 being absolute trash, possibly the worst manga chapter you've seen, and with 5 being incredibly phenomenal, what would you guys rate this manga chapter on a scale of 1 to 5? Question number 2 is, what are your thoughts on Goku's performance in this battle against Granolah, being the fact that he took 2 L's back to back, in not only having to lose against Granolah in Dragon Ball Super Manga Chapter number 72, in which Vegeta had to give him a Senzu Bean, but now also having to see that he went on to not only lose as a Super Saiyan Blue, in which prompted him in using the silver-haired Ultra Instinct form, but it was only later on where we got to see the original Granolah make his presence known in one-shotting Goku out of his mastered Ultra Instinct form, which subsequently enough gives Goku another L, in which he had just taken a Senzu Bean to fight this guy, only to now suffer the same fate, in which prompted Vegeta in now having to step in. And lastly, question number 3 is, what do you guys think is going to happen involving Vegeta and Granolah in this upcoming manga chapter? Only because if Granolah was able to do this to Goku and he was using this projection, this shadow clone-like hologram to fight off against Goku and Vegeta, then you can only imagine as to what the original is capable of. So Do you guys believe that Vegeta is bound to change things up and get the victory over him, or is Granolah simply going to one-shot him as well and beat both of them before the story then progresses into possibly seeing what the Heaters are going to do? Because let's not forget, the Heaters are still playing background characters, they're watching, they're observing, and they primarily focus on power, control, and knowledge, so we can only assume that they're collecting data and they're observing this fight very closely. But at the same time, I was really taken back by seeing Granolah perform similar maneuvers and similar techniques and attacks that we've seen Moro use on planet Namek and on planet Earth by using the planet's core energy as a means of weaponizing that and using that against his opponent. I really wasn't too fond of that, only because you have to create separation between Moro and Granolah, and if you're going to give Granolah everything that Moro knows essentially, then what's the difference here, right? So it makes sense in a way because Granolah did wish to become the greatest warrior in the universe. So not only is he possibly the strongest, but he's perhaps the greatest individual in being able to use all of these abilities and techniques better than the original person performing it, such as Vegeta, Goku, Moro, and etc. So if that ends up being the case, then Granolah is going to be extremely dangerous, especially even going into this fight with Vegeta, which honestly speaking, given Vegeta's track record, it doesn't look too bright for him unless Toyo and Toriyama want to throw us a curveball and change up the narrative a bit by having Vegeta be the one to stop Granolah in his place and kind of progressing the story in a way where Vegeta ends up revealing something to Granolah. And remember, Toriyama did promise us a long time ago, many months ago, I believe in 2020, that this arc was going to reveal many revelations in the story that's going to shed light on the Saiyans and on the Cerealians. So by the end of this, I do want to get your thoughts in the comment section below. Did you guys like the chapter? Did you guys hate the chapter? What are your thoughts on the fights? Because the fights and the battles were really cool, and I loved how they actually went on to use their surrounding environments to their advantage. Even though they're classified now as being very high tier universal warriors, it was a little weird seeing them use trees as weapons, but what more can you do, right? So again, thank you all so much for watching. If you guys are new to the channel and love Dragon Ball, then be sure to go ahead and smash that subscribe button, turn on all notifications by clicking on the bell icon to never miss a single video posted onto the channel. Give this video a big fat thumbs up by slapping that like button down below if you guys enjoyed. Tune back in for more, and I'll be seeing each and every single one of you guys down the comment section below. Have a great day and or night, and take care. Thank you all so much for being here. Peace. And a quick little reminder before you exit the video, if you guys are unaware, follow me on my secondary channels, which are also used to discuss and talk about all kinds of different subjects and topics, including gaming and live streams, beginning with Unreal Network, which is a channel dedicated in discussing all kinds of movies, breakdowns, current events, scary stories, theories, and more. So if you are someone who is into the entertainment world, then that's the channel for you. So head on over and subscribe over on Unreal Network, which up next is Unreal Vlogs, where I bring you guys a little closer into my life in taking you behind the scenes with vlogging content, parody videos, reactions, motivational videos, uplifting videos, and more. So if you want to get to know me on more of a personal level, then that's the channel for you. Hit that subscribe button to always be in the loop with Unreal Vlogs. And lastly, my gaming channel, Unreal Royale, where on that channel we dive more into the world of gaming, ranging from all different kinds of video games, from Dragon Ball to Resident Evil to Grand Theft Auto, Halo, Gears of War, Minecraft, all kinds of horror games, shooters, RPGs, and more, including live streams. So if you're a gamer and are into the gaming world, then smash that subscribe button over at Unreal Royale and experience the ride with me. I want to thank you all so much for your time. Thank you all so very much for your support, and I'll be seeing each and every single one of you in the next video.
This is the Galactic Emperor of the Universe, and of course I'm here to tell you to subscribe to UnrealEntGaming.
Also follow UnrealEntGaming on these social media platforms to stay connected at all times. And if you don't, then very soon you will all be dead! Oh, did someone say UnrealEntGaming? Oh my god.
The fuck's up, on? Put on some clothes!
Well, why don't you put on any clothes?
What? I don't need clothes. Jesus Christ, that's huge! What, Broly?
Frieza.
Uh-oh.
Prepare to die!
But once you get video, lots of likes, or Bill will turn you into chocolate!
Vados, get over here! Tell these mortals that I'm the biggest UnrealEntGaming fan. This is my moment. I'm a part of his notification squad. Universe 7 can have all the fun. I just want the food.
And don't forget to leave a comment on this video. Show some love for the best community on YouTube.
Kakarota!